Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Alright, are you actually recording this time?
Yes, I am recording.
Do you imagine if we got like 20 minutes in and you were like, wait a minute?
It's just my eyes glazed over.
You've been doing it the whole time with your eyes closed. You
Yeah.
didn't realize. You're
I
like, wait a minute,
meditate.
everything's dark in my room.
I'm channeling, you know, a great podcaster from beyond the grave.
Who would you channel from beyond the grave?
I don't think there's
Name a dead podcaster.
I don't think there's any.
There has to be dead podcasters that you can channel. Hold
I
on.
don't know.
Dead
Yeah.
podcasters.
No.
Let's see. Okay, this is the issue. I looked this up and it's giving me a podcast called Dead Podcasters.
God fucking
So,
damn it.
Thanks for that. Whoever you are, enemy for life. Eternal beef with the hosts of Dead Podcasters.
How am I supposed to get our answer to this?
Fuck you.
What
What do they talk about?
Probably
the study
some...
of the ancient podcasters throughout human history.
What are you talking about?
This
I
is
guess
the
it's.
podcast.
I guess it's supposed to be like.
I don't think they make the show anymore. I think they stopped making their show.
Maybe they're dead. Maybe that's the one. You know.
You're going to channel Dead Podcasters Society, the podcast.
What an irony, eh? Yeah.
It's a little ironic.
I
Yeah.
tried, but I couldn't contact them. I guess they're
Maybe
too
they're
deep.
still alive.
They're too close. They're so deep in hell. That,
Jesus.
like I can't reach them.
God damn. Well, Eternal Beef started with them, but you know what else is going to be internal? Eternal, not internal.
Into Eternals. The show, the
Monday.
movie.
We're recording this Monday.
Mm-hmm.
St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
It comes
So-
out Thursday.
Sir Patrick Stewart Day. Yes.
So Patrick Stewart's Day. Yeah, this comes out Thursday. So you know what? We, Dead Ensigns, you can use this as like a doctor's note almost. We give you permission. 4 days of drinking.
Just straight.
It's fine.
Every day. Breakfast, drink something. You know, dinner, drink something.
Their office for lunch, maybe have a bottle of wine with it.
Before going to bed, get a hot toddy in you. You know, they can get you a little sleepy.
Could you imagine the vibe of like sitting at your office job, sitting at the desk, and instead of just having a bottle of water there, you've got like a pint of Guinness? That would be so fucked up.
That would be so awesome.
Could you imagine going up to that guy's desk, just a big fucking like pint glass of black liquid and like sitting there?
It's not even in a pint. It's one of those like water bottles that gigantic.
It's still in a water. It's in one of those water bottles that have the markers on it. That's
Yeah.
like 9 a.m. 9 a.m. first sip.
Yes.
10 a.m. First gulp. You know.
And that week, the most efficient they ever been. What does it tell you then? What does it tell
But
you?
yeah, that's what that Mads Mikkelsen movie's about, right? What's it called?
Yeah. One
It's
round or
fun to
last
drink or
round?
something.
Yeah.
Awesome
Oh.
drinkers.
Awesome drinking is cool.
The guys who drink and nothing goes wrong. I think.
Nothing.
I didn't finish the movie.
Oh yeah.
I watched like the first 30 minutes. So I was like, "This is awesome." When I turned it off, and
He watched it and he's
Took it
like
to heart.
gets to have sex with his wife again, and he gets really into teaching again. You know, like,
everybody's just becomes happier.
Uh huh.
Yeah. Anyway, permission. This episode. If your boss sees you drinking a Corona at your desk, and they're like, we were allowed it yesterday because it was St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, this plan hinges on them being able to watch the episode now or listen to it now. And it'll be out on. Okay, well, new plan. All right, new thing. Thursday is now a do-over St. Patrick's Day because we weren't able to release an episode. then.
It's like when you were in COVID and you couldn't do things, you know, and now you get to do things,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
they
exactly
catch up on
like
everything.
COVID, basically. It's been like 5 years since COVID now.
I
man.
know, it's insane, isn't it?
What a world.
I try to reference whenever I think about it. It's like I'll sometimes say something that happened during COVID. I guess like 2 years ago, and then person will look at me and go, "No, that was 5 years ago," and I was like,
It does. I'm going to be honest with you. The passage of time stuff doesn't get me that much.
I don't mean that.
You
It's
know?
just like the reference, it's gone. I guess I just exist. I'm so wild. I just exist in the time.
You live the moment. You live
I
in the
live the
moment.
moment. I don't
Yeah.
don't think about the past. Much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived 2 moments ago.
2 moments
I've
specifically.
got like a toe dip in the past.
You're like Next, like you're like Nicolas Cage from Next when he sees 6 seconds before. I
Nicolas
guess.
Cage from Next.
Isn't that the movie Next?
What?
Next, where he has the superpower, he sees like 30 seconds into the future. Yeah,
I don't
Nicolas
know.
Next.
I've not seen that.
You never
one.
seen this movie? You love
I've seen
Nicolas
Knowing.
Cage.
Have you seen Knowing?
I've seen Knowing Numbers.
That
What do
one's
they
not very
mean?
good. That one's not very good.
Right, that's the movie.
I don't think so. Maybe
I'll
the one
post
where
you
the world blows up
yeah. So
and
that's
the aliens
yeah,
take all of the children to
yeah. In
space.
right. He's like, I like how the date he notices is 9/11.
That's awesome.
He's like, I know
mean, what
my
a day
pattern
to notice.
recognition. Yeah, my pattern recognition got triggered, neuron activated by
It was the
9/11.
first Revolution Studios film to be distributed. The other one, oh, okay. I thought that was going to be more interesting. So
Maybe Next is not interesting.
well, I thought it was going to be like there was a sequel, but
Oh.
it's not that there was a sequel. It was
know.
it was the studio made a different film distributed by Paramount Pictures, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not very interesting. Anyway, what were we getting at? What were we saying?
St. Patrick's
Yes,
Day.
it's St. Patrick's Day. You're probably saying here, drinking yourself silly on Monday, going, oh, if only I had Dead Ensigns to listen to while I drank myself silly.
Yeah.
Well, we give you permission Thursday. St. Patrick too.
Yeah.
He's back, and St. Patrickier than ever.
We're producing the second. St.
We're
Patrick's.
sponsoring. We're sponsoring St. Patrick's Day too.
We're like the opposite of like alcoholics, like anonymous sponsors. We're like instead of getting you to stop to drink.
I don't know if I want to align myself with that. I'm saying you can have an extra day of fun. I don't know if
Okay.
I'd say you should become an alcoholic.
Well, it
Max
gets
is
you
saying
sometimes.
that. It's
Yeah.
kind of an angel on your shoulder and a devil on your shoulder kind of thing.
No, I'm
I'm
just
in one ear saying you can have one more day of binge drinking. He's over there saying, "Why not?"
If I
more
if
days?
I was
All
if
of
I
it.
was if I was a devil, I would still make myself look like an angel, just for the fun.
Yeah, you got to. I was reading. Well, I was reading Sun Tzu's Art of War last night before I went to bed.
Yeah.
And one of the is all war is built on deception.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's a good one.
So yeah, you gotta deceive.
That's true. Yeah.
Make
do
them
you
think you're the angel on their shoulder when you're actually the devil.
Do you read The Art of War before going to sleep so you know how to battle your demons when you fall asleep?
No,
So you're
I've
prepared?
noticed. I noticed starting about 2.5 months ago, all of my dreams have involved elaborate battles.
Mm-hmm.
And each one is like sequential as well. Like it's not like I'll dream about the same battle. I'll dream about like a follow-up battle the next
like
night. So
a
I've
whole
decided I
campaign.
should probably start preparing for them because I think I've been slipping my consciousness into a different plane of existence or perhaps time. And I may actually be affecting
That plane's
things
like
there.
fate of that world.
the
right?
fate of that world. Yeah, so I'm
Well,
thinking maybe at first I was like, I'm not going to take this very seriously. You know, once I sort of realized I was dreaming, because it kind of becomes lucid after a certain point. You start to go like, oh, yeah, wait a minute, this is another dream.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's time
First
to make it a
two-
wet dream, if you know what I mean. If you stand behind
well, that's what I was doing on the second one. First two dreams is when you're like you don't fully realize because it's just a battle and you're still in the. Around the third one, you start to go like, wait a minute, am I really in a battle right now, or am I
Yeah.
having another battle dream? Because I remember waking up and thinking about my battle dreams the last 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start to go, okay, well, this is a dream. Let me see if I can make 2 soldiers make out or something.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they do, but they don't want to. That's when
Oh,
it started
no.
to click for me, and I was like, "Oh, this might be like a real different reality I'm in."
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I started reading Sun
Did
Tzu's Art of War before
Did
bed
it?
because of
Is
that.
this
To
like
prepare.
what setting is this battle? Is this like ancient battle? Is this like like Napoleonic Wars?
You know what the most interesting part is every couple dreams it changes.
Is there a talking lion, for example, in
No.
your dream? No?
No,
Okay.
no.
Maybe a donkey?
But sometimes
funny.
it's been like Egyptian, and then next night it's like the future. But for all the people are the same.
Gerard Butler
I still
is
have
there
the
and
same.
he's
I
Horus
still
or
have the
whatever.
same generals and whatnot.
This is interesting.
Yeah,
Sounds like
I don't get it.
Maybe aliens are using your brain as a platform to simulate battles.
The issue
You know,
is
they're
that
gaming you.
it has unfortunately gotten to the point where the waking world, I sometimes
yeah.
think might be the dream.
Okay.
It happens.
That's
Every now and then I'll go to sleep after a big battle, which I've won because I've been reading Sun Tzu's Art of War.
Yeah. Wait, did you lose any? Has this been like a progression where you get better?
I lost some at the beginning. It
But
was
the war
very
continues.
devastating.
Yeah.
They weren't like a lot of the time early on. So this was the progression. First couple, I just kind of trusted my general's input, right? Because I'm like, all right, I'm because I didn't know I'm in a dream. I'm just like in the world. I'm like, all right, well, I'll let them do their thing. They probably know what they're doing. When
Yeah.
I started to become more lucid and I was like, oh, it's a dream, let's have some fun. I was like, this battalion, go swim in the lake. This battalion, build a castle. And then they got killed. And I was like,
What have I done? Yeah.
everybody's really sad about this. Then when I started to realize like, oh, this is like a concurrent thing. I keep dreaming. I should make this, I should probably pay a bit more attention.
I should take it seriously now. Yeah.
I should put
No
some
fun.
of that like XCOM knowledge to use, you know?
How to manage your units and stuff.
Yeah,
soldiers.
exactly.
Do you have your favorite
trying to train
soldier?
'em.
Maybe there's like a
I've
subplot between you and a soldier somewhere.
Now I know you're joking and it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
If we were joking about this maybe like 6 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I'd probably throw some out there. Since then, I've learned not to get connected.
That's good, honestly.
This is part of the reason why I found out they're concurrent, because I would get my favorite ones, and then one night they would die in battle, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's a shame. I like that guy," and then they wouldn't appear again. I'm like, how would my brain know not to bring them back ever? I wake up I say I wake up. See, this is the thing. It's starting to get really confusing for me, and honestly,
Yeah.
I'm getting upset.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that what's happening is that it's actually the other way around, in which the real me in the dream has been sent to this world in their dreams in order to read the Art of War. Like, that's the goal. Like, they don't have that text there, and I have to, like, bring it there.
the very basics of how to perform combat is that like
think
long
so.
staging campaigns. Yeah.
'Cause
Maybe
things
you could
are
find
different
something
there.
better, you know.
The way people are different there. It's like they don't want to fight, but they have to. So it means a lot of them are kind of struggling, you know, with the concept of it, the basics.
Yeah, and you don't want to bring them like the knowledge of gunpowder, right? Because then they that might like lead to something worse in the end, you know. You might go like, I win the war, but we eventually develop the nuclear bomb in my dreams, and then maybe that will be the thing that will destroy you ultimately, and then you'll die in both worlds.
Exactly. See, that's an issue, because if that happens, because I started feeling very fun in the dreams and invincible, but as it went on, I was like, I can't die in these dreams.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen to me. There was one point in one of the dreams I got hit by an arrow, and I woke up,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, that was a weird way for that to end. And when I went to bed the next day and woke up in the dream, I was in like the infirmary for an arrow wound. They told me I was blacked out for like 18 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, St.
that's-
Patrick's Day 2 is on Thursday. You're allowed to celebrate it today with us here on the podcast.
Maybe
grab a
they
pint,
sent you
grab
out
a
here
Corona.
to bring St. Patrick's
I don't
Day
want to
back
talk
to
about
your
it
world.
anymore.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's upsetting. Okay,
It's
making me
flashbacks.
uncomfortable. It's
It's real to me. It's real to me.
This is Dead Ensigns.
The number one dream
the
podcast.
number
Maybe we're
one-
dreaming you, or you're dreaming us. Maybe
I
we're a
had the
podcast
perfect
inside the dream.
segue to end the sequence. You keep trying to pull me back, and I don't want to go back. Okay, I was trying to get us out
I'm
of there.
stopping. I'm
And you
stopping.
keep-
I'm
I'll end this
realizing.
podcast.
I'm
I'll end this podcast early if I
I'm
have
realizing I'm triggering you. I'm sorry.
It's
I
not-
didn't mean to do it.
to. Because it's as I was talking about it, I realized I'd never spoken to you about it before, and it's been heavy on me.
It sounds like you want to talk about it, and now you're
I did-
rejecting
I
that.
did-
You
no,
opened
I
up a little
did.
bit, and then you rejected it. Right?
No,
Now
I
you're
did,
rejecting it.
but as I was going further and further, I realized you probably think I'm more and more unhinged,
No.
and that I need help. And the thing
No.
is, the issue is, it's not going to help. Instead, I'm going to be in a facility, but I'm still going to be fighting the wars.
You
Except
are.
now I'm not going to have Art of War, and they probably won't let me have Art of War. They'll probably be
Yeah.
like,
The
"Oh, we
thing-
can't let him have Art of War
It's a
because that might be
triggering, yeah.
what's triggering the dreams in the
Yeah.
first place."
Yeah.
And now, and then I'm gonna be fucked, and I'm gonna die in the dream, but that's the real world, and I'm gonna die here too.
But you'll die a free man in the dream because you'll be free.
I won't.
Right?
I will die from war. That dying in war isn't free. Dying in war is horrible. It's probably the most captive you can die in.
That's true. Yes.
You know?
you're right. I wonder where. We'll get some updates in a few weeks, maybe, if you feel like talking about it.
Imagine we
can-
don't do any more episodes after this.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
We just
Maybe I'm going to
pretend
and then
I died.
and then someone else is going to project you as a ghost of a podcaster. You know, but you know,
this is Max.
and that's me. What's your no? Okay, I'm dropping it.
You get one more
Dropping.
question. You get one more
What
question.
is your name in?
And
the
you
dream world?
really want to ask? That's the concerning thing. Same
Yeah.
name, still Ben.
Oh, okay. All right,
That's
that's
the
it.
concerning thing.
Okay, that's it. That's all
Yeah.
I wanted to know. Ben,
Yeah.
a hero of the dream worlds.
Not-
anyway,
well, I've turned it around. At first, they didn't think I was much of a hero.
Okay.
But the issue, that's another thing I'm trying to balance, is I don't want them to have heroes because it's
Yeah.
an awful thing we have to
That's
do.
true. Yeah, the hero
We have to
culture.
do it.
Yeah, it's it could
We
be.
have to do it.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, let's talk about dreams of our reality, which are movies, right? That's a kind of dreams, right? Where we put them on film in a way, and then we can all experience them, share them in that way.
Yeah. It's the fucked up thing is that I wake up, and usually it's hard to remember what happened because it still has the feeling of a dream in that it fades, you know. But then talking about it now, the first person I've talked to, and I'm doing it on air and everything as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
First, it's like bringing it back, and I'm thinking about the things I've seen, you know, because I'm not on the front lines, but it's like sometimes you have to be out there and viewing it.
Yeah, you see the aftermath of it, right? And it's like, why
Yeah.
them? Why them? You know, like why didn't they take me instead? You know.
I've thought it sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. It's a tough being a leader in a way. I guess also
It is hard,
having
and then I have to
tram-
come here. I have to lead the podcast as well.
yeah, especially now with this amazing story that you're sharing. But anyway, Electric State is a movie.
Do we
that
want to go
watched.
straight? We can talk about other stuff, though. We don't have to go straight into Electric State. The Electric State, Max. The latest hit movie from the Russo brothers.
Yeah,
Do you love
Yeah.
the Russo brothers, Max?
I love them. I guess let's have a look.
Anthony
They made
and Joe
Avengers,
Russo.
right?
Yeah, they made everybody's favorite Avengers, bro. They worked on Community. I used to love them because they were directing Community, and I loved Community. I was like, this is great, awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Great work, guys. Lovely work on Community. And then, you know, you get to some of these movies they make, and it's like, yeesh. Oh my god, what were they thinking? The Gray Man? Did you see The Gray Man? I didn't see The Gray Man.
There's I always
Cherry? I didn't see Cherry.
I've
This
watched
Tom Holland is.
The Gray Man is a very similar movie to that fucking Fall Guy movie. It also has
It's
Ryan
got Ryan
Gosling,
Gosling
in
in
it.
it.
Yeah,
So that's
both of
probably
them.
why.
Yeah, and they both kind of are the same movie. Like it's a guy and he has to like do action basically, and that's it. That's what it is.
And now
Yeah.
they're doing the new Avengers films as well. They brought them back because they were like, we need people in. We're floundering, we're flopping around on the
We
shore.
need to go. We
of
need to go
creativity.
back to where we were strong. You know, when Avengers was strong. The Marvel.
We need to
cinema.
bring back those guys who made. I think it would be really funny and really awesome if
Yeah.
after the Electric State came out, Disney were like, "We're fucked."
Drop. Yeah.
They're like, we have to get rid of these guys. We're fucked.
We already gave them like $500 million to get them to even come back.
They're already in production. We had to give them $500 million just to make these movies. They're already in production, and now we've seen this. We've seen the Electric State.
We've seen what they do now.
This is like this might be the lowest of the low for the streaming era, I think.
Yeah.
Probably one of the biggest budgets, especially for a streaming movie.
300 million and something.
$320 million is
Insane.
one of the most expensive films to be made. Where's it sitting on this list? Where's it sitting? Number 13. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is on it, 351. Fucking hell. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom cost $432 million.
People watch the Jurassic Park movies. I don't know.
I know, they make money. That's the craziest
Yeah.
thing, is that they make money. Like, this one made, like, more than its budget back.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, 13th most expensive film ever to be made.
It doesn't look like it was that expensive.
Think about it. You could make 32 moderately budgeted films with this.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Think about how many movies are made with like a moderate budget of like $10 million, you know?
Yeah, and they're huge successes that make
they're, like, successful.
100 million or some shit, you know?
This is like, and you think about the Blumhouse method of even less, like give some guy fucking $1 million to make a movie and see what he does. And if it sucks, well, whatever. We've got like 17 others ready to come out and be hits, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. We need one hit, you
You
know?
make 320 $1 million films.
And giving a lot of people opportunity too, like a lot of filmmakers.
Putting
giving...
so many different crews and stars and writers and everybody just involved could be paid for like a good like quarter of a year, maybe, you know, 3 or 4 months with something like that.
Yeah, and those can potentially spawn more series and make more work.
It's just it's a scam. Either Netflix has to get rid of $320 million for some reason, or Anthony Russo and Joe Russo are like the greatest con men to ever exist. Because this movie is dog shit on top of that. On top of it being a hugely bloated budget, it's also absolutely terrible.
It is. It is surprising how, like I said, it doesn't look like it's worth 300 whatever million dollars. It doesn't look that good. Like
It really does. It doesn't look any different than like, and in some areas it looks bad.
It looks worse. Yeah, it looks worse.
Bad. You look at it, you go, "This cost $320 million."
Russo brothers saying they're like. They got like a pile of cash. And they're like, one for the movie, one for me, one for my brother, one for the movie, one for me, one for my brother. And they're just like just stealing money from the production. It's insane.
Just terrible. It's shocking.
It's
because also
right.
It's not that it's. Here's the thing as well. It's not that it's like it's not like awe-inspiringly bad. It's not like
No,
you
no.
watch it and you go. It's not like you watch it and you go, "This is insane. This is made by crazy people. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense." It
It's
all
not
makes sense.
Megalopolis.
It's
not
all
like Megalopolis.
competently enough made. It's just it's so
Bland.
creatively bankrupt and
Yeah.
bland. It's so. I have a question, Max. I feel like maybe I missed a bit of dialogue.
Oh no! Yeah,
But
go on.
you know the robots are all locked. They're in the big wall, and there's no way out of the walled-off electric state that they all have to live in.
Yeah.
And then there's the bit where the robot brother gets kidnapped by Stanley Tucci's evil company, right?
Yeah.
But they all get his sister and all the other robots and Chris Pratt get left behind in the electric state, right?
Yes.
But the idea is we're gonna go and stage an offensive. We're gonna go and get my brother back. But I don't think they tell you or show you how they get out of the electric state with all of the robots.
Yeah, you did. What you missed.
What did I
is
miss?
They gone to the hard drive, the PC bot, and they ask him, "Have you got codes to get out of the electric state?" And he goes like, "Yes, of course."
Okay.
And then, "Do you got codes to get into the evil company headquarters?" And they go, "Yeah, I do."
Okay,
and then they
that's
get out.
very handy.
And the more fucked up thing about it is, how did they fucking sneak through the entire country?
Yeah, they went because the electric state itself is like Nevada or something, right?
It's like, yeah, it's something
Or
like
New
I'm trying to
Mexico or
find it. I'm
something.
trying to find what fucking
They
state
move
it
all
was.
the robots. So this is the thing. They had a big war. They made robot slaves.
Yeah,
But what they made robots to do is basically just. I feel like 85% of the robots you see in this movie are an object with legs. It's like a donut with legs,
Yeah.
or an ice cream cone with legs, or like a taco with legs. And it's like, were we making sentient beings literally to just stand in front of stores and go, "Hey, tacos here,
Yeah,
donut store here"?
Yeah,
because
like-
this is fucking stupid.
that's the thing that like
It's so
fucks with this movie, with like the designs of these characters. For me, is like, we would never do this. Like, why
It's
would
like,
we?
I haven't read the book, so neither of us have read the book that is
Yeah.
based on the electric state. There's a story and then lots of lovely illustrations and stuff.
Yes, beautiful art. Like,
But
yeah,
just great. A lot of people love these books,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, I think the robots in that are robots. They're like built for purposes, you know.
yeah.
Some of them are like a little mascotty. Some of them are like commercial, but it's like mostly they're built with like industry in mind, right?
Yeah, like there's a haircut
There's like
one.
no industry robots in this
Yes,
movie.
all of them
They're
are
all
like
commercial
there you go.
advertising robots.
They're all doohickey robots. They're all doohickeys. You know, they're all fucking like this.
I don't
these
even know if I'd say they're
weedy guy-
doohickeys, man.
No, but they're like, you know, like they're jokes on legs. You know,
yeah,
all
okay,
of them.
Yeah, sure.
You
They're
know what I
basically
mean?
all sign spinners. They're robots made to hold and spin around a sign in front of the
Yes.
store, and so all of them, because unfortunately for some reason we decided they needed to be sentient as well.
Yeah.
All of them were like, "Hey, we don't want to be slaves anymore." And this is the part where it's like, "Oh, you know, okay, you get it." It's the humans are like, "Well, sorry, you're an object. We don't care about you." The basic, you know, it's the setup you would expect for this. You know, it's an allegory for slavery and such.
Yeah, and like
So we end up going to war with the fucking Mr. Peanut robot and his army of fucking hot dogs and tacos and hamburger robots, and they're winning.
yeah,
Apparently they're kicking our ass until they make VR controlled drones that people can pilot that are they don't seem to be any different than the other robots, but then we start to win
yeah. The only
is
thing,
the premise.
The difference is that
Also,
like I
it's set
guess
in like 1994 for some reason.
Yeah, it's the
This
90s
is-
too.
This is like the most nostalgia, the 80s, 90s nostalgia baiting fucking Netflix dreck that they've ever produced. I thought Stranger Things was bad. Yeesh.
They're doing it like the robots are like weird because it's like it never gets brought up again. It's so weird, like the fact that it's like you're technically controlling the robot with half your brain, and the other half of your brain is like holidaying or some shit, and it gets brought
It's
up at
like
the beginning.
VR augmented reality stuff.
Yeah, and that's like it never gets brought up again. It gets told to us at the beginning, and then we don't like it doesn't tackle that subject at all.
Yeah,
in a way. It's so
it took
weird.
me a while to fully understand what was happening because they set it up being like, oh, you know, we had the robots and were fighting the humans, and the humans would get killed. So we were like, well, what if we make machines for the humans to control to fight the robots?
Yeah,
And I was like, okay, makes sense. But then they're like, now we make the recreational version where it's like you can have a robot controlled body to go and do stuff, but there's also like a VR home and lovely world that you can live in.
you're already playing one basically.
You can Ready Player One in this thing as well.
Yeah,
But if you're
exactly.
like, I need to go to the grocery store, you can start piloting the
Yeah.
robot to go to the grocery store.
or you
and then
shit
come back home.
yourself, and you need
Yeah,
someone
you can
to
get the
wipe
robot to carry your body to the toilet so you can shit and then wipe your own
Evacuate
ass with the robot and then carry you back to the sofa.
I wonder why they never tackled that in the
Dude, you know what, there was because it's also an allegory for drugs.
Yes, in a
It's
way.
used as because there's a bit where there's like a
like the
homeless guy
yeah.
lying there with the VR. There's like a public VR,
Yeah.
like a public telephone thing.
receptor. Yeah.
And I was looking at that and I'm like, what's he doing in there?
I don't know. He's hanging out. I don't know.
That's the point where
He's
it was
on the
like,
beach.
well, because at first I thought the only thing you did was control a robot. I didn't realize there was a VR world in there
Exactly.
as well.
That's
So
the thing.
they showed the homeless guy with it on, and I was like, what's he doing in the robot body?
He's just there, like fucking a chick or something, in there, you know.
But he's not, because he's in the robot body. I thought. I was like, what's he doing? Right, he's sitting next to his like fucking his fucking shopping cart full of
Yeah,
cans.
I don't know.
But he's
man.
got the VR on. It's like, what's he?
I guess maybe you can not control her and you can fully fuck a chick instead of just with half of your brain, you know? Maybe it's tackled in the book more, but this movie doesn't do a good job on
Well, a friend
fucking
of mine was
telling you
telling me
why.
that the idea in the book was that they had these VR AR headset things,
Yeah.
and the robots hacked them and turned people into zombies, basically.
Wow,
It was
okay,
like
so
kind
that's
of
a
a snow crashing thing, or
quite
snow
a
crash thing, or
bit
something.
different, yeah, than...
I don't know if that's the case. I haven't read it. That's just what a friend was telling me while I was watching the film.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the premise of the film is that it follows Millie Bobby Brown character. She has a genius brother. Her brother is a baby genius.
He's a
like
baby
straight up,
genius.
he's just a baby genius.
Yeah.
Not in any particular thing. He's just a nebulous. Like he is a super brain genius. His
Yeah.
brain has twice as many brain cells as everybody else's, or some shit.
Yeah,
That's not in the film. That's just the assumption based on the way they talk about it.
because he's like doing entry exams. He's like 11. Not 11.
He's like 11
yeah.
and he's going to college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then war were declared on the robots. There's a big
And he's
war.
like, and he's
during
like,
the
I don't
war.
want to go to college. I want to watch cartoons.
Yeah, he's like, I want to sit with. I don't want to be one of those socially stunted weirdos
Geniuses,
who
yeah.
went to college when they were
And-
like fucking 12, and then they get to like 14 with a doctorate, and they don't understand how to interact with another human being. Anyway, the war breaks out between the robots for like 4 years or whatever. Eventually, they come to an agreement after they make the drones. In that time, the brother got killed in a car accident. Millie Bobby Brown is the
Yeah,
only
her
person
whole
from
family.
the whole family died because their car hit a deer. But she survived.
Yeah.
She gets adopted. She's going to
she's
school.
like
Everybody's
she's like in a foster home.
Yep. Everybody's addicted to this AR VR. She doesn't want to. She likes living real life.
Yeah,
she
she
likes.
has
She loves being in the real world.
She has a deadbeat Jason Alexander.
Yeah, Jason
foster
Alexander
parent.
is her deadbeat foster dad. And then one night, a robot comes to her, and it turns out it's me, it's your brother. My brain is in a robot now. Hello, I can't talk normally. I have to talk as a cartoon character.
He has to do Bumblebee. Not even Bumblebee shit. Bumblebee shit. At least he had more of a broad selection of what he could say. But I don't get why he can't. Like they couldn't give him a voice box or something. Like why not?
I don't know.
I really don't get why they couldn't give him.
Thus begins a grand Spielbergian adventure across America where they run into Chris Pratt, who's a smuggler. He smuggles stuff out of the extraction zone, the quarantine zone, or whatever it is, where the exclusion zone, that's the word.
Yeah.
Where all the robots are kept. He goes in, he smuggles stuff out with his robot buddy, who I think they have like a romantic relationship at the end, I think is the implication.
Kind of, I guess one-sided. Cause
I wonder if Anthony and Joe Russo wanted to push more and be like, we'd like you to kiss the robot, and Chris Pratt was like, I'm not doing any gay robot shit. I'm not kissing a robot voiced by Anthony Mackie. Sorry.
And then they do the thing. Can you like just do a thing where it's like there's nothing around him? He's like pucker your lips and just like face towards the camera, and then they 3D edit in the thing later. They compose it, and he's like, "No,
we're gonna digitally edit in a hot lady for you to kiss."
Yes,
yes. Do you need me to be like I'm doing stuff to her? And they're like, "Yeah, this is great, Chris. This is great." And then they put the gay robot in. Yeah, and he's watching on Netflix with his kids. He's like, "No,
God damn it,
gay for the robot! Fuck, they tricked me."
His wife is like, "Chris, I can't believe you
How could you do that with a fucking gay robot?"
She's covering up the kid's eyes.
You sicken me.
You sicken me. Get out.
So they go on a grand adventure. They gotta find Ki Hui Kwan. He's a special doctor scientist who turns out all of the AR VR stuff is powered by the baby genius brother's brain. They have him in a tube in Stanley Tucci's company, who runs all of the VR. He's in a tube, and he basically is a supercomputer that powers all of the VR.
Because you said, he has twice as many neurons in his brain.
This system controls everything in the world. It seems, and they have to. They kill him at the end. Spoiler alert. She has to let her brother go because he can't live in the robot, and he can't come out of the tube because of the car crash. He's dying. Mm-hmm. So, but he doesn't want to be a fucking the weird computer anymore. Yeah. So they put him down, and the whole world infrastructure shuts down for a bit, and it's like that doesn't seem good. But I guess they fix it. I don't know.
It's like it's all about not escaping life. You
gotta live your life. You gotta have real relationships with people.
Yeah. And
digital. And
there's many great characters like Mr. Peanut.
But hold on, give me a second.
I thought we jumped to the end because we just
jumped
to the end.
I was gonna say the final moment is that she does a big speech to the whole world. They record her for TV, and she's like, "You gotta get it." It's like the end of Scrooged. Have you ever seen Scrooged?
I don't know.
With Bill Murray.
No.
Bill Murray, Night Before Christmas movie. Where at the end he has a big speech on TV where he's like, "You gotta go out there. You gotta find somebody to love. You gotta love people. You gotta make connections.
Everybody needs somebody." Right? That's what he says. Okay.
Yeah. They do play a song at the end. I think it's that. Anyway, that's honestly a pretty good performance by Bill Murray. It's a little saccharine, but it's very heartwarming ending. Mm-hmm. Sorry, but Millie Bobby Brown, not very good in this film. Chris Pratt, not very good in this film either. I don't think anybody's really bringing their A game to this one. It's kind of just like nobody's really trying their best here. Everybody's just like kind of going through the motions, collecting a paycheck,
Yeah.
What is it? There's the music is all like piano. There's a piano "Don't Stop Believing" at one point.
There's a lot of needle drops in this movie.
There was at the end, when she's giving her big speech. Halfway through her speech, I'm like, Are they playing a Wonderwall right
Yes,
now? Because it's like a piano rendition. It's like... bim, 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 ba, diddle, 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 diddle,
Yeah.
diddle, diddle, diddle.
It was.
Bim, 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 bim,
Because I also did notice it.
It was awful. Oh my god!
They
what a
did
terrible
Judas Priest. They did a bunch of other like.
awful.
They did the fucking like. Oh, we're gonna release an album with all these songs.
They
on
were
them.
like, this is gonna be like, we're gonna get so much streaming on Spotify.
Yeah.
So
People
at the end of the
love-
film, there's a big trash arm, and it drops the robot that had the brother's brain in it the whole movie, and then blah blah blah. He wakes up. The robot gets up. Credits.
Yeah.
He survived? Question mark. I guess.
We'll see in Electric State 2, another
Definitely.
600 million. It's
Yeah,
gonna
they're
be
gonna
the
double
budget.
the budget.
Yeah. So that's the reason why it failed. Is just the budget wasn't big enough.
It wasn't big. It was too small, really. if you want to think about it, it wasn't big enough for their ambition.
Yeah.
Oh, what a terrible film, man.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's so weird looking at the book, right? The book this was based on, and looking at the art, and then looking what they did to the fucking designs in this fucking movie, where all of they look like shit, basically. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like every single like scene in this movie where there's like a human standing next to a robot, I'm like, I just want to throw up. This looks like garbage. They do not mesh at all, like with like a real person standing next to them.
No.
It's so weird, you know. There's like a lot, like it's trying to like a moral thing, of course, like an adventure film, you know,
But
for kids.
it's so this is the thing I kept thinking while I was watching the film, is that they're very clearly trying to go for the nostalgia bait is like
Yeah.
woven in the DNA of
Yeah,
this film.
the fucking Chris Pratt is a guy who like finds nostalgia bait in the extraction
His
zone.
whole
He's
thing
like,
is like finding old items in the extraction zone and being like,
I
"Look,
can't
there's a
use the
Twinkie."
GI Joe, the lunchbox. It does have food in it. It's a lunchbox. You put food in it. You know, it's like fuck off. You know,
It's atrocious. But within that, it's so ingrained in the DNA that the film is itself supposed to be an homage to 80s, 90s family action adventure films, you know? Your Indiana Jones, your E.T.s, stuff like that.
Yes.
Very Spielbergian stuff. But I kept thinking, do you know, it's insane that a movie like Nope really feels like it understands and captures Spielberg as a director. Much more so than this. This is like it doesn't have the heart or spirit of it at all. And it's like I think you can really see it because Spielberg is a very, very creative director, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, if from such a young age, if you believe the Fablemans to be true, from such a young age he was making movies and he was doing creative stuff. It seems like, at least based on all of the interviews that specifically Joe Russo does, they don't like making movies.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
They don't like, they're very like, at least Joe Russo is very like, well, the future of movies is AI, and the most important thing about movies is
Really?
the box office, you know?
Fuck. Okay, I didn't know
That
that.
is I don't know about Anthony Russo, but at least Joe Russo, it feels very clear that it feels like Spielberg, you can watch a movie by Spielberg and be like, he loved making this film. Even if the movie's not very good, it's like,
Yeah.
he just has like a love of filmmaking, right? You
Yeah.
can feel that on the screen. There's no love in this movie. I hate to criticize it for such a nebulous thing, because how do you quantify whether a movie has or does not have love? But you know what? If you want an example, it's this movie. This is a perfect example of a movie that has no soul whatsoever. It's made
Yeah.
by nobody who cares. Everybody who made this film didn't give a shit at all.
It's so
He
weird.
just-
Yeah.
he just-
We have
he
like
just
they were
dumped it
like
out
we
there.
bought the right for this book, and he's like, all right, that's cool. We have a story, so we have the script, we have the pictures, the visuals, so we have the language of the movie, right? The visual language of the language, and that's it, right? We can just make it into a movie. I guess not really, because it seems like they utterly failed. Like
Yeah,
it's
because
so
it's
weird
not
because
even
it's like
they
the-
have everything in the book. Because this is the thing. I don't know what this book is about, but much like everybody else who's been on the internet since fucking like 2017, I've seen images from this book everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody loves posting these images.
A
because
story
they're-
from the Loop, I think. Also, he
they're
also had that.
keynote.
Yeah.
You know, they have
Yeah.
that. They have a great style to them where it's like these landscapes with robots in them. That's it. They're kind of moody landscapes with robots in them. They're kind of dystopian, and they look cool, and they're very well done. They're beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
So when you have all of that, and then you go, nah, how about instead we do Mr. Peanut?
Yeah.
What if instead we have the leader of the robots is Mr. Peanut, and we don't even mean like a joke, but straight up it's just Mr. Peanut.
Yeah. I wonder if
the guy, the mascot of the peanut company in America.
Yeah, there's like a 7-Up can running around from what I remember.
Yeah.
He picks up a Dr. Pepper and shows her. And I was like, did they get paid? Maybe at least they got paid for
They
all these
must get
fucking
some pay, yeah.
these
They must
place
get paid a bit.
fucking shit. Because it's like, maybe that's how they do make money. That would be funny.
I
Like they'll
couldn't
be
tell-
like,
there
this
was
movie
one-
is a failure. Objective failure in terms of a movie, right? Where people didn't, but it's successful in a way where they took on so many advertisement like contracts.
I mean, that might be why the budget is so big, just because they were like, they just kept getting like product placement. They were just like, hey, we're Netflix, we're making this huge movie with the Russo brothers, the guys that made the Avengers film, and we want to, we got fucking...
We gotta get on this.
We want a mascot. We need a guy to be the mascot character who's like the leader of the robots. Mr. Peanut. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Do you want to pay us how much? Fucking 25 million? Sure. Yeah. All right. It's Mr. Peanut then. He's now the face of the movie. We're going to get Woody Harrelson to voice him.
He's gonna be a great character. He's
going to be so good.
He's gonna be a
He's
hero.
He's in a lot more of the movie than I thought he'd be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. It's hard to, like. That's the thing. We're talking before we started. It was like we should talk about this because I was like, oh, we should watch this for the podcast, and I watched it, and it's already like yesterday, and it's escaping me. This movie is just evaporating from my
Max
brain
was
as we
like,
speak.
we'll talk about the electric state, and in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, I watched that yesterday.
Yeah, it's.
I forgot. I was thinking, what are we going to talk about on the podcast? Didn't even occur to me that we had both watched a movie explicitly for this episode.
Yeah. Fucking, he's got his mom in his fucking VR headset, and she's all like comically Italian.
Yeah, they
like-
tried to humanize Stanley Tucci a bit there. So the general idea with Stanley Tucci as a villain is that the world is falling apart, and so he just wants to make like a nice VR retirement home for society, basically, where the world can slowly crumble, but everybody will get to sit in their lovely little VR world and see their mother again and eat her digital cannoli. And that's not a euphemism. Because
You
it
can do
certainly, so I
anything in
said it
VR.
out loud. I
You
said
can-
it out loud then, and it sounded like a euphemism, but it's
Honestly,
not. I
you can do
mean a
anything in VR.
cannoli. It does sound. Maybe I should start using that. Go and eat her digital
Digital
cannoli.
cannoli. Yeah.
Maybe like a nice, cool, hip way for
Honestly,
e-sex.
I
Having
feel
sex
like-
with somebody online. I'm gonna go eat her digital
E-sex?
cannoli. Yeah,
Electronic sex.
yeah. Like instead of we're gonna go have sex with somebody via Discord.
Because when you have sex with somebody, you put your particles inside of them and you're linked forever.
There's a whole thing about particles. So Stanley Tucci is like, I want to just do that. And then this is the thing, dude. This is what I was talking about with the drones. Is that at the beginning of the film they explain mankind turned around on we were able to beat the robots at the end by having these drones.
Yeah.
And at the end of the film, they use the drones again to fight back the robots who are attacking Stanley Tucci's company to save the baby genius boy.
Mm-hmm.
And the drones are getting their ass kicked.
But there's just so many, because then
it's
that
not
person
until Stanley
get another
Tucci
body.
comes out with his own special drone that he made.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like,
Do
why
they
don't they all
start to
have that
lose?
one? You know, like, why don't they all have like a bigger one? You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I was like,
they could just make big ones, but they don't. They make tiny little human-sized ones with helicopters.
and they have your face on there. You know,
Dude, did you like Giancarlo Esposito's character?
Giancarlo
where
Esposito,
he was like the heavy. He was like the guy chasing him down in the exclusion zone.
he was he was like a retired guy who got called back
Yeah,
in
he
to
was
murder
like the
robots.
robot termination squad or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm being called in by Stanley Tucci, the big boss, to catch this super secret guy.
Yeah,
And then he has a crisis of faith at the end when he finds out that the robot he was hunting had the brain of the baby genius in him.
You told me I was
He was
hurting.
like,
you didn't
told
tell me I was
hunting
hurting
a robot, not a
Yeah.
boy.
a boy.
A boy?
Yeah.
Now everybody's gonna call me a diddler.
Oh no!
They thought I was chasing a boy around.
I thought it was just digital. I guess it's a proxy. I guess you can't commit that sort of crime because I'm in a drone.
So he has a crisis of faith, and the end of his character is he takes the helmet off, and he's like, "Fuck, I guess I'll go take a dump and eat a sandwich."
He's just like,
I guess I'm just kind of disconnected from the story now because I don't think he turns
Yeah.
up again. I think it's just
no, he like does
remember.
basically his choice is like he doesn't help the robots. He just doesn't do anything.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's what
He goes and sits down and then logs off.
He's so powerful.
He fucking
that, like,
logs out of the MMO. He was playing the expansion, and he got to a point where he was like, "My character wouldn't do this. This is out of character."
Yeah,
so he
it's
just
like-
logged off and didn't play it ever again.
inactive. You
Yeah.
know, 6,000 days ago or whatever.
He didn't have any sort of heel turn. He just quiet quit the movie.
I don't know.
At the end of
It's-
the movie, Chris Pratt says he loves his robot friend,
Yeah.
voiced by Anthony Mackie. He
He's
likes
like-
him more than a friend or something.
Yeah, he's like, oh, what am I gonna do now? All my other friends are married, and I was like, what is that supposed to mean? Are
I
you
know,
supposed to-
it,
you
it
wanted
was
to
it
fu-
was very it felt because it definitely felt like it was like jokingly implying
Yes.
that direction, but
But at the
it
same time,
felt
it's like-
so half-hearted.
Yeah,
It was like they really didn't want to go all in on the idea of like a human robot relationship, so they were just like, I love you, bro, a little
Yeah.
more than a friend.
yeah.
And then the
it's
robot
like-
inevitably comes back to life because he thinks he's dead, so he's confessing all this stuff.
Mhm.
And the robot comes back to life, and he's like, "You said you love me, ha 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 ha! You're fucking queer."
And he calls he uses the F.
He
F
does
slur,
use the
like
F
yeah.
slur, he
It's
does.
awesome. It's awesome.
don't
Netflix should
feel
do more of
comfortable
those sort of
saying it.
things like that. Yeah.
And then
no,
Chris
he
Pratt
doesn't.
is so mad that he starts beating him up. It's terrible. It's a really strange
No.
way to end the character dynamic. Anyway, that was the Electric State. This is probably
gay panic. Gay
Yeah,
panic.
yeah,
Chris Pratt.
this
Jesus
is
Christ.
I don't want to look. I don't want to be too much of a hater, but I don't think these Russo guys should be making any more movies.
Well, they're making Avengers or whatever, right? That's what you said.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck me.
Fuck. Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Didn't they put that? What did they? No. Okay. So they're making 15 upcoming shit. Jesus.
What?
Like I'm looking at their
What, the
IMDb.
Russo bros?
Yeah. So
They're not
making a lot of-
directing.
Oh no,
they're
they're
only
doing.
directing. They're probably producing a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
they're
but they're
producing
only
a lot of
directing
stuff, yeah.
Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that was Electric State. When I don't know. I feel like having a look at that book now, because it's such a bad taste, and I feel for the for the artist more than anything.
Because it says it's a graphic novel, but it's not like a comic, is it?
No. It has like big pages, like like when you turn
Pages
the
of
pages,
illustrations and then some.
Thanks.
Oh, see, here's the thing. I look up Electric State, and well, the book is #1, of course, on Amazon. It says like, yeah, you can get the book here. Underneath that, it goes, hey, would you like a Millie Bobby Brown Funko Pop maybe of Michelle, your new favorite character?
I love it. Oh,
she was really bad in this movie, dude.
I didn't want to say anything, but I felt, she was pretty bad.
I don't you know what? She's not a child anymore. You can be a little.
She's like 20 or something. Because I was looking at, how old is she? And because she's supposed to be like 16 or something, like 17, something like that.
I would say, personally, 17 is the cutoff. I would say anything under 17, I'm willing to be like, okay, look, it's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be rude about like a 15-year-old acting.
No pulling punches, basically.
You know, well, because you got your whole life ahead of you. You can maybe learn to be better at it, or you might not even keep doing it. You might be like, you know what, this isn't fun. I want to be a plumber instead.
Yeah.
If you're like 20 in a $320 million movie and you're given this performance, you clearly you cashed that check like a month before filming, and you don't have to worry. You're like, what are they going to do? Get rid of me? Like, who cares? I got the money.
That's true.
Done.
She's probably already a millionaire, so
because of all the Stranger Things.
She has all the power in this place,
She's
economically, she ruined us.
She's apparently 21 years old now. So there you go. That's even easier to say, hey, sorry, Millie Bobby Brown, you were not good in this movie. Sorry. That's how it is sometimes,
Well,
it's just how it is. Are you looking forward to Stranger Things?
I forgot that this is the final season, right?
It's coming out this year, I believe. Do they have like a date for it? Season
It will be
5?
interesting how they'll close off the show. I can't even remember what happened in the last. So they had the guy. They had the song, right?
He had the evil guy.
Yeah.
Is his name Vecna?
Vecna.
I'm looking
And
at the Wikipedia page right now.
And they had
he
the
did
the
part of
song.
his plan where he opened up. They made a big crack in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember in the town of Stranger Things, USA?
Yeah.
They had running up that hill.
Yeah.
How old were they when they made this show?
Honestly,
They're
the music
they're both
choice-
41 years old.
The music choices in Electric State are also kind of mid, honestly.
Yeah,
I know that
it's all like very obvious needle drops, but like piano covers, like soulful, like, ooh, isn't this dramatic and emotional?
And like
An
shit
emotional
like,
piano rendition of Wonderwall by Oasis.
It's when they have a scene of them like throwing shit at the company headquarters, and it's like breaking the law. Because they're breaking the law. So we'll have the breaking the law song,
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
By Judas Priest, which is evil, by the way, and you shouldn't listen to their music.
True.
Because they're literally have Judas and the priest.
2016. How many? Dude, what the hell?
What?
They were like fucking 30 when they made Stranger Things. I didn't realize they were like that young.
What, Russo brothers?
No, the Duffer Brothers.
There are all these brothers around. What the fuck?
A lot of brothers-based directors.
Brother and me?
The Coen brothers really paved the way for brothers to get into Wachowskis as well. Not brothers anymore, of course.
No, that's true.
Sisters.
Yeah.
Sisters are doing it for themselves. The Electric State, what a movie. Max, how else was your week? What else also was your week?
Let's
move on from this crap.
Garbage that wasn't interesting. Just a lot of
awesome.
bullshit, busy work with some stuff.
Nice.
But I watched because I was talking about watching Nosferatu, I guess,
Yeah.
and I guess we'll also talk about it later because I haven't finished the new Nosferatu from
Robert
this year.
Eggers.
Robert Egg movie, but I did watch what is it called? I watched the not original Nosferatu, right? And that wouldn't be a
No, the original
the
Nosferatu
truth.
is the fucking 1921 or whatever.
Yeah, I watched. I already said that. I think I mentioned at one point I want to watch some Kinski movies. Klaus Kinski, and
Mr.
I
Kinski.
watched Aguera
madman.
Wrath of God, and I watched
Yep.
Nosferatu the Vampire. So yeah, and I really enjoyed Aguera, but I enjoyed
down the river.
Nosferatu a little bit less in general, but still enjoyed it, and I was glad to have seen it. But yeah, but watching Aguera, The Wrath of God, I was like, yeah, this is like what's the guy, the Megalopolis director, Coppola did say that he was heavily inspired by this movie, and it shows. Like it's very much it's literally like concept of people going insane, going down
Traveling
a raft,
down a river, going
yeah.
progressively madder and madder.
Yeah, and also like going deeper into danger. Like they're actively like progressing into like the abyss, you know. And yeah, it's an insane movie. Like like when I was watching Aguera, I was like this looks dangerous. Like all the shit that they're filming is
that was a fucked
why are
up
they
movie to
doing
make.
this? Why are you doing this? Like this looks immensely dangerous. And also not only from the surroundings, right, of just having, being in a jungle, probably surrounded by weird animals and just the elements, and also having the most violent of elements, which is Kinski himself there. Just being the insane person that he is, and it is very funny too. Like, and a lot of Herzog movies, the trivia section or whatever,
You should look up some of the stuff behind this movie because it's crazy.
It is because he talks so much about making movies, and that's what's really cool about Werner Herzog is that he just. There's so many stories that he tells.
He's very brave and confident in how he made those movies before.
Yeah.
Because they did stuff where it's like, you definitely can't get away with that. Even 10 years later, you wouldn't have been able to get away with that.
Yeah, he just kind of went out of his way and just did it. There's
the whole thing about the monkeys.
Yeah, where he pretended to be a veterinarian. He didn't want to pay. He wanted to give half the money to them and then the rest later. But what they did, they were like, no, and then they tried to sell him off somewhere else.
They gave them half.
Yeah.
To catch the monkeys. And then they were like, we're going to keep that first half, and then we're actually going to sell the monkeys to a different person.
Okay, that's what I meant. Okay.
And then we get to, we'll scam, they were scamming Werner Herzog, basically.
Yeah.
So he dressed up as a veterinarian in order to take the monkeys secretly.
Nice.
So it ended up him getting the better deal because he only had to pay half.
Yeah. Well, but they did, it was karma. They
tried to scam him,
and also
back.
in the movie they when they were just in between shooting, Kinski just fucking shot someone with a Winchester rifle and shot off their finger, which is really just an awesome thing to then have to stay with that person probably and like continue working there. Because you're in the middle of a jungle at this point, and just the insanity of like where they're shooting and how dangerous it is, and having no storyboarding whatsoever. Apparently, they just shot from they were just making as it goes, and that's just insane to think about. With like the danger you're exposing yourself already, by going into that scenario, It
gets thrown around a lot these days, but I think it's fair to say Aguirre, The Wrath of God is the kind of movie you can't make that movie anymore. They would not be able to make this movie like this nowadays. This would be an international political issue if some like German students fucking stole a bunch of cameras and then flew to South America and made a movie like this on the Amazon River,
Yeah.
they were doing all the shit they were doing, this would be like an international incident.
Yeah,
but back
but
then in the 70s, you could do
It was-
whatever you want.
it's crazy times, you know.
You could just fucking do
And
whatever the fuck
and
you
the
want.
sex was way better back then too. Anyway, but yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. Like, it's just it is funny how
a good movie.
if you look at the trivia for like any kind of movie with Kinski and just Werner Herzog movies with Kinski in it, there will be a entry there that will say Kinski had a different interpretation of the role, but then Werner Herzog made him do it for 4 hours and he got tired, and that's the actual performance he wanted from Kinski. So he would trick him to get him. He was like a child that needed to lose all his energy. So then Werner Herzog could actually get the performance he wanted out of him, you know?
Everything's so sanitized nowadays. You know?
I
How
guess.
often, you know, because it's like Anthony and Joe Russo, they're not tricking Millie Bobby Brown into giving a bad performance. She's just giving a bad performance. And so is
That's
Chris
true.
Pratt. Before, if anybody's listening to this and they go, wow, he's picking Millie Bobby Brown a lot. Chris Pratt, even worse performance. Fuck Chris Pratt. He was even worse. But he wasn't the lead. He was one of the leads, I guess. But he wasn't the emotional core of the film. Anyway.
Yeah.
But you go back to like fucking fucking Doctor Strangelove or something, where Kubrick is like tricking what's his nuts? The guy. What's his name? He's in Hardcore and everything as well. Hold on, give me a second. I should know this off the top of my head, but unfortunately I'm stupid. George C. Scott, where he wanted to do it really dramatic. He was adamant that he should do a dramatic performance, but Stanley Kubrick would be like, okay, but let's just do one more, you know? Let's do like a really over the top one, you know, like a warm up. Just do like a really crazy a performance that you would never do for this character, and then all of those takes were the ones that ended up in the film, you know?
Yeah.
You can't do that nowadays. Who's doing
because
that?
They have it in their fucking contracts that they're like, oh no, if we don't like it, you can't do this, you know?
Exactly. This is the issue with too much safety and regulation. This is
That's
why we
true.
need to get rid of OSHA.
Yeah, we need to get rid of unions, like for the Hollywood, like, you know, all they have a stranglehold on the film industry, you know.
Sean Baker, when he said no intimacy coordinator on the set of Honora, maybe he was spitting. Maybe he had there's just too much bureaucracy.
Cut to 10 years in the future, there's been a scandal, a huge scandal, you know, or something like that. It just aged just extremely poorly. But yeah, looking at, I guess, talking about Nosferatu after I literally watched Nosferatu straight after this.
Yeah.
I had a lot of issues with this movie. I feel a little spoiled, I guess, with
You mean the Robert Eggers one, or the
no,
mean
the
the
vampire,
Herzog one, right.
the Herzog one, because I'm still actually in process of watching that one, the new one.
You had to stop
the egg
to
one.
watch a more important film.
Yeah, Electric
The Electric
State.
State.
Yeah, I was like, I need to do this because I said I'll do this. You know, I really enjoyed seeing that the Eggers, you know, one, but I was like, I need to do this because I said I would. But yeah, the Herzog one, it's a alright film, I guess. There is it's really like, I don't know, I feel like it's really kind of shot very straight, you know, like there isn't a lot of
Sure. It's been a bit since I've seen it. I liked it.
I really like the performance Kinski gives as Nosferatu, of course.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't. Yeah, I just after seeing Aguera, I didn't. I feel like that way because they're shot very similarly, but I feel like the way they were shooting Aguera felt more like a documentary in a way, like of these, like you're kind of there with them, you're just observing
Sure.
like these Spaniards like doing the shit they're doing, and it's and in like they shoot the movie in like I think Amsterdam or some shit, and it's and it you can see like the sets and the streets, they're too clean. Like I feel like like it's so like I would see every once in a while I would see something that would pull me out of the movie because of the setting that it's in, yeah, and stuff
Oh,
like that.
I mean,
don't
I
know.
kind of
It's-
like that personally. I think
Um,
that's I think that is a creative choice. Like, I don't think he would have had trouble getting extras to fill up the scene more, But I think
no,
I
no, no,
think
no, no, no.
the
I'm not talking about the extras. I'm talking about literally the environment. Like
no, I
the-
know, but I'm saying like I think again that's like something that I think you could just do a bit more set design for. But I think there is supposed to be a almost a slight sense of modernity to it. I guess
I guess maybe. Yeah.
I think
but
that's sort of the problem, and not to because you're still watching the film, obviously. But I don't know. That's more of the issue I had with the Robert Eggers Nosferatu, where it's like everything feels very storybook Victorian.
Yeah.
Like I get it, shit was probably not super hygienic and clean back then, but I don't know if it would be quite as like filthy and disgusting as it looks in like
Yeah.
that sort of interpretation for me. So for me, with the Herzog one, I quite and it added a sense of eeriness to it. I don't know. Everything felt it felt like a play. Everything felt like a set. I don't know. I kind of like that personally, but I get what you mean in that it can take you out of it because it feels too clean almost.
Yeah.
I get
It's
that.
yeah. Like like just stuff like the little
to
things,
rewatch
like
it, though.
little things, like even when he's going towards the castle, and there's like a metal chain link like thing that like is clearly just a thing that was there, to prevent people from falling over the edge. And I'm like, they wouldn't have that in that, that sort of stuff, like with a literal like modern weld on it, that like someone with a TIG weld would do, like that sort of stuff that really pulls
That feels
me
a
out.
little too granular for me personally.
Yeah, but I
about
don't know.
that.
I just like I guess
I'd
it's
be like that. They didn't have that weld back then. I would be.
It's
like,
just a
oh,
very
you know.
technical sort of thing that I'm like,
Sure.
I don't know. I for some reason I pay attention to. It's just
But
like
maybe you'll enjoy the Robert Eggers one more because he's a big history guy. He loves having his I check his historically accurate production design and everything. So you might.
I like how
more of that.
Nosferatu curls up like a spider that you hit with a newspaper at the end. That's fun. Where he's just like on the ground and he's just like he just like shrinks up. It's like nice.
I like there's a certain eeriness to the environment.
Yeah, I really like the kind of beginning of the movie, I think. And I
Yeah.
also didn't like the fact that they
It drags a bit.
they got a bunch of rats and they dyed them gray with like dyes. Like
Yeah.
they boiled them and shit, for it. And yeah. I like when I kind of like was reading that, I was like, I don't like this now.
I mean, but
They-
I'm sure they weren't particularly friendly to the monkeys in Aguirre. To be
Yeah,
fair, so-
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
You know?
At least they could like escape into the jungle or something,
Yes.
Hopefully, unless Herzog was just like, I need to retake this, and he just
Even then,
collects them.
capturing and then relocating hundreds and hundreds of monkeys is still a bit of like a.
Yeah, but
Definitely
boiling
not a good thing to be
rats
doing.
around.
I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying both are bad.
To,
I'm just saying both
I
are
know,
bad. It's not
I
like
know.
Aguirre
But
is
still,
free of sin when it
you
comes
know.
to that.
and yeah, there's like dead rats in the footage specifically too. Yeah, but whatever.
I'm not defending it, but it's one of those things for
But,
me. It's the same thing
but-
I feel with like Holy Mountain and stuff, where it has some pretty nasty animal stuff in there. Where it's like, yeah, I agree. Where it's like it's definitely shouldn't have done that, but the movie is so far the production of the movie is so far gone from where we are in time that I'm like, As long as we're just not doing that from this point on, it's like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't look at it and be like, personally, I don't look at it and go like, I don't know about this movie now.
In my opinion, every single rat on that stage in the film should have a contract. They should have an assistant. They should have a little trailer that they could stay in after.
Now there were a
after
lot
the
of
shooting.
rats. There were a lot of rats in the Robert Eggers one.
Yeah,
And
and they
I'd be
probably
interested if there were anything out there detailing how they can keep track of and protect each rat there in their contract.
Yeah, probably.
I'd be interested to hear.
I trust
Not
him.
that I
because
doubt that
he's
they did
he's
anything
the
bad.
historical buff. I can't.
He's a big history buff.
I can't.
That means he
you know,
probably loves
have
the
to
idea
trust
of
him.
killing rats. Oh my god,
He's got a
probably like, well, this
medieval
is they would have definitely killed the rats. We got to kill the rats in the movie.
Yeah, he has.
Because
He
they
has.
did that back
He's
then.
like, oh, I've seen this image of a Victorian rat trap, and it's one of those where it's like a revolver that's pointed at a rat hole. Yeah, he's with a little tripwire. You know, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. It did the Nosferatu did really drag a little bit for me.
Sorry, it drags a bit. I think that's fair. I haven't seen it for. I think I saw it like 2 years ago, so it's not fresh in my memory. But I think that's something I remember feeling at the time as well. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything particular this
If
week.
you
I
were
played
not-
some more Wilds, and I was like, "This, yeah, no, you know what? This game kind of sucks ass, actually." I quit. And then I started Monster Hunter Rise, and I was like, "Oh, this is." I don't know if it's better so far because I've only done like a couple hours worth of playing.
Yeah,
But it certainly makes me use my brain more.
yeah.
I certainly have to think when I play a bit more than
I
in
remember-
Wilds, where I'm just like, I'm just hitting the buttons. I guess.
I
They feel
remember-
good to hit, but sometimes you realize, oh, I'm just hitting buttons.
I remember playing Rise and struggling more. Like there was like
definitely.
points where I had to redo a hunt or something. But like I said before, I literally didn't cart once doing every single like mission in Wilds. And I wonder it might be like maybe they'll release content and there'll be like even higher hunts. Or
Hopefully,
something.
generally, it's just like I hope they make the game a bit harder. Like it just I don't know anything. Wilds is a little bit disappointing now. A couple weeks out, there's certainly a lot of content in there. There's certainly a lot of game, and it's crazy with you say that about Rise, where it's like, yeah, it because at the time it was also getting a similar sort of treatment where people were like, this shit feels like it's for babies now.
Really?
Yeah. Same with World as well, where it's like people play it and they go, this shit's for babies, and then the next one comes out and they go, oh, no, this is the one for babies. And then, but here's the thing, I don't know if they could make one even more baby game than Wilds.
Well,
Wilds feels like it was made for like children to play a little bit. You know? It feels like this is if you're like a 40-year-old guy and you have like an 11-year-old son, and you're like, I want to play Monster Hunter with my son because Monster Hunter's cool and I think he'd like it. You start with Wilds because that will be like they'll get it easier, you know?
Yeah. I don't. It's because I'm like thinking of like now I'm trying to go back to like playing Worlds and then Rise because that's how I played, and I was like, did I like I didn't like I
They're fresher in my mind for me. I played through World at the end of last year, and I just started Rise after Wilds, and I think I feel very confident in saying that Wilds is really easy. It's
like,
kind
it-
of
like,
a
'cause
little
I-
painful. High
I-
rank is like a bit better. High rank is a bit more engaging, but even high rank feels like the low rank of Rise. You know?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like the difficulty between World and Rise now, and I can't really remember if I like there were a few fuckers, like there were things that I like, and there's missing monsters that aren't in Rise yet. Like there was the bomber one that was a fucker, like that he was
Beetlejuice.
fucking.
It's a little difficult to say because they do play a bit differently. Because I don't know if how many you've played before World, but like World World and Wilds play closer than like Rise and World. Or Rise and
Really?
Wilds. Yeah, because
Okay.
Rise is a little bit more like clunkier and deliberate, but that's because it feels more like the older handheld games a bit.
Okay.
So it's
Interesting.
like when you start walking, if you tap the stick, just a bit, then you commit to that direction,
Yeah.
for a couple steps. There's no like little half measures, but playing through Wild and in World a bit as well, it's more forgiving with that. It feels more like it feels a bit more like fluid of an action game,
Yeah.
where you can kind of run around. You have a tighter turning circle and stuff. But in Rise, it feels a bit more like the older controls, I guess, handling, whatever you want to say. But Rise is cool. I thought Kezu. I was like, this guy's a weird, gross penis monster.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. He does
Looks
have
like
a
a
force.
weird
He has a
penis.
force.
He
He
looks
has
like a
a
weird
foreskin.
foreskin.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. I didn't do much else. So fucking Righteous Gemstone started, but I'll talk about that more as it goes on. Anyway,
Yeah. And
thanks
we'll
for
also-
listening.
We'll
What?
also probably talk about Severance. Season 2, when it
Severance will be
ends.
done. Episode 10. I didn't realize this was a 10-episode season. I
Yeah.
thought last week was going to be the last episode, and then I was like, oh, wait, no, there's 10. Last week's episode was, I don't know, it was fine. It was better than the Cobell episode,
Yeah.
but it still wasn't, like, great.
I think
It's
I
fine.
don't know. I'm just interested in how they're gonna finish this episode, this season now, because like I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm curious more now to see. I'm basically preparing to see, because we already know they're making another season, right? So it's like,
they're already in production of it.
so we know that stuff.
We know
How is
there'll
it? How
be
much stuff
double
is going to get
cliffhanger.
resolved? How many things are going to resolve? How many new things are going to pop up? I don't know. And it would be interesting if it's like I feel like maybe this season was like thematically a bit less like strong than
We'll
the
talk
first
about
one.
it
I feel
next week.
whatever. Yeah, we'll talk.
about
We'll
it next week,
we'll
when it's
we'll actually be able
finished.
to. We'll
Is
actually be able to-
my only thing. If I don't think he's gonna be gone forever, but if Irving is gone forever, I don't know about keeping watching, because Irving is the most interesting character on the show. to
Yeah,
watch. I think
that's true.
It's a good performance, but also the character and his narrative is interesting to me. More interesting than a lot of the other stuff going on. So we'll see. I feel like he'll come back. I don't think he'll be gone. But if he is gone, if we start season 3 and there's still no Irving, I'm going to maybe sit back and wait until I hear word of mouth Irving's back. And then I'll be like, all right, I'll catch up.
She'll be like, no. Comes into the office with a shotgun.
Yeah.
He goes,
ooh.
He goes
And he blows
postal
them all
on them.
away, yeah.
Yeah,
He goes postal. He goes postal too.
And then the fake media is going to be like, oh, he like went crazy, but it's like, oh, he saved everybody.
And every other woke media is going to go like, this is because he was gay. Thanks for listening to Dead Ensigns, awesome podcast by two friends, me and I'm Ben, and me and my friend Max.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to hear more, go to Apple Podcasts, the iTunes shit like that, Amazon, Spotify, whatever other fucking podcast app you're using, Stitcher, I think, maybe, whatever the hell. And download
Podcast
it.
Addict, I'm pretty sure. That's
Podcast
one.
Addict, podcasts.net.
Well, like that's insane to me. Like saying that, like, what I'm gonna go on like pornaddict.com. Like, what am I insane? Like, why would you do that? Or would I go to like water addict, like food addict? What are you talking about? Like, why would you call your website that?
I mean, well, I mean, if you're looking for the best of the best, you want to go to the addict of it, right?
Yes.
You know, if you're like,
that's
I
true.
want the best porn, you're not going to go to some guy who's never seen porn before. So, like, have you got any recommendations? Probably penis going into a vagina. Maybe. Maybe you look up, like, I don't know, I've only ever seen sex in, like, science videos, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to help you. You go to pornaddict.com.
Only did the finger. I did the hole with my one hand and the finger with the other, and I put them in.
I
That's
can
the
do
only
that
way.
for like 20 minutes if you want to see if that'll help. Is that good? You won't find stuff like that on podcastaddict.com. I can tell you that much. But if you don't want to find us on a podcast app, where, by the way, you can save the podcast, like the podcast, rate it, review it, whatever floats your boat. But if you don't want to go to one of those, we're on YouTube too, where you can also leave a comment and subscribe to the YouTube.
Send
but
us
if
an
you want
email.
to contact us, but you don't want to do any other things previously mentioned, you send an email, deadensigns@gmail.com. That's the email. You type in deadensigns@gmail.com into your send to area. You can also carbon copy us if you feel like. It's up to you. Even BCC if you feel like you need to. It's totally fine.
I guess.
And
reply
then,
all to all of us if you want to.
You can put the subject as whatever you want, and then just put the whatever you want to say to us in the body of the mail, and then send it. No attachments.
No attachments.
But thanks for listening. Goodbye. See ya.
I wonder what Ben's war is gonna happen on. Like what's gonna happen this week. I can't wait until the next episode. Bye.
It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through. You're alive. Good.